iPad do you have? And I'm going to switch to my other screen. And is everybody looking at the thing that says compare iPad models? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, if you want to know what model you have, let me show you that. If you want to know what model you have, you go to Settings, General, and About. And you'll see on my iPhone, it says I have an iPhone 12 Pro. And on my iPad, I have an iPad Air 3rd generation. And that's, again, you go to Settings, then General, and then About. Okay? What I've put up on the screen is a particular website. This particular website is at Apple, and you can see the name of it there. And it does a wonder. I was experimenting with last night. It says compare iPad models, and there's 3 on the screen, but you can make it any iPad models you like. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you the newest one, the iPad Pro 12.9, 5th generation, compared to the iPad Air 4th generation, compared to the iPad 8th generation. And I show you that because the iPad Pro 12.9 is the most expensive, and the 8th generation is the least expensive, and the iPad Air is kind of in the middle. And if I wanted to change any one of those, I just click the arrow and pick the one I want. Okay. But as we scroll down, it says, first of all, the iPad Pro 12.9 starts at $1,000 or $1,100. The iPad Air starts at $600, and the iPad 8th generation starts at $330. This is a great deal, by the way. If you're looking for a deal on an iPad, this is it. Because you can use the pencil on it. You can attach a keyboard to it, as you can with all of them. Okay. And you scroll down further, it gives you the dimensions. This particular iPad has the brand new M1 processor they just announced a week or so ago versus the A14 processor versus the A12. What does that mean to you if you purchased one? Super fast, fast, not as fast. Okay. Up to 2 terabytes, 256 gigabytes, 128 gigabytes are the maximum memory you could have. This one has 2 cameras. This one has 1 camera, a 12 megapixel camera, and the smaller one, the less expensive one, has an 8 megapixel camera. Okay. Get the idea? And you see the various connections. By the way, they did in the latest generation, they switched from the Lightning connector to something called the USB-C or Thunderbolt. That's the Thunderbolt symbol, and that's the USB-C, what it looks like. Okay. The newer one can do 5G. The older ones, not so much. I'm showing you so you can go and look at it. And all you need to do is on a Google search, except if you're Jim and it goes blank on you, you do www.apple.com/iPad/compare/. If you just go to Apple, you can actually click a couple of clicks and get down to this. Okay. If we now look at the same thing, but we're looking at the iPhone now. Okay. And what I've done is thrown 3 models here. The 12 Pro Max, this is the biggie. This is the nice, cool one. The iPad SE. Let me change that so that it's the mini. And we'll make this one the SE. I think, there it is. Okay, so most expensive, kind of in the middle, least expensive. Now these are ones you can actually buy straight out. Many of the models are only available, not available from Apple any longer. They're only available at retail stores, probably like Verizon. I'm not sure if they'd even be available at Best Buy, unless you go to the Verizon counter in Best Buy. But there's the prices. Again, $1,100 for the biggie, $700 for the smaller one, and $400 for the least expensive one.
Bill, I have a comment.
Go.
I bought this past year that SE, the one on the far right, and I belong to AT&T's plan, my son's plan, and they offered that SE for $200, and you didn't have to trade in your old phone. And I jumped on that like a big frog, and I was really happy with that.
Not a bad idea. It is a nice phone. The nice thing about this one is it still has the home button.
Yes, that's why I wanted
it. You'll notice that there's no home button on these two. And what you do to replace the home button, they've put in a gesture. And the gesture is you put your finger right here at the bottom and you flick up. So whenever you think about pressing the home button, you put your finger here and flick up, and it's the home button. But if you're used to the home button, there's no change at all required if you get the SE. Here's the sizes. The SE is the smallest. This is the Grand Poobah. Okay. The iPhone 12 Pro is capable of doing 5 gigahertz, as is the 12 mini. The one that Greg got is 4G. 3 cameras, 2 cameras, 1 camera. Optical zoom, 5x, optical zoom, 2x. I think we talked about the optical zoom. Optical zoom is just like if you have a camera and you put different lenses on it. Okay. They have the capability of doing a digital zoom. What that's doing is basically, as you zoom in, it reduces the number of pixels that is in your picture. So if you zoom in far enough, it gets grainy. So that's a digital zoom. The thing they introduced on the iPad Pro was this thing called LiDAR for night mode portraits. It's able to use, let's call it something like sonar, to determine the depth of field so that the subject becomes much more focused in low light. And I've used that on the one I have, and it is spectacular. It's really nice. The processors, right? You'll notice that the amount of hours supposedly on the battery, 20, 15, and 13. The two newer models have facial ID recognition. The one with the home button has, of course, the touch ID. And you can continue through all these settings to compare the two. They've done a good job of setting up this site. Okay. What I'm doing is looking at my iPhone and my iPad here, and I'm going back to the home screen on both. If you look at the side, there's a couple buttons I'd just like to cover with everybody. There's the volume up and volume down buttons, and they're right beside each other. And most of them are on the left side of your device. On the iPads, I think they are, where are they on the iPad? On the right side of the device. But there are two buttons side by side. On the iPhone, you have the church button right above the volume up and volume down. There's a little switch buried in there that you have to use your fingernail to move up and down. Moving it up means moving it toward the screen. Moving it down means moving it away from the screen. When you move it away from the screen, you see I just did it. You see the little symbol that appears on the screen? It says now it's in silent mode. That's why I call it the church button. It could be called the theater button, I guess. Okay. Okay. On the right side of your button of your device, or the top right of your device, it's called the power button. Okay. It would be right up here and right up here. I'm sorry, right here. Okay. I'm sorry, where is it here? Yeah, I'm sorry. It would be right here in your iPads. The home button is down here at the bottom, and the power button is right here. If you press the power button once, and I'm pressing it on the phone, and that's right here on this phone, my screen goes blank. If I press it again, it wakes it up. If you have a home button and you press and hold, careful what I said, if you have a home button on your device, and I'm going to do it on my iPad here, and you press and hold it, it comes up with this screen, and you can slide to power it off. You should power off your device once every once every week or so at least. And I'm usually asked the question, why? And I usually tell people, you know, you have a junk drawer. The junk drawer gets kind of cluttered and it's hard to find something in the junk drawer. Okay. when you power it down, and I'll power my iPad down, and it'll take a while here. I'm holding the power button. I'm going to slide to power off. And now it's powering down. Okay. And you wait a minute for it to clean up. And when you turn it back on, the junk drawer is really well organized and it works much more efficiently. So now I'm pressing and holding the power button. And when you do that, the apple appears on the screen. To accomplish the same thing without the power button, you have to see something. You press and hold the power button and the volume up button simultaneously. And you should get a screen that looks like that. The one on my iPhone there. Okay, now sometimes I'm asked, why do you have medical ID and SOS there? This is a good one for everybody. If you have those particular things on your screen, and I hope you do, and you're in trouble, for example, on the iPhone with no home button, and I press and hold the power button and the volume up button at the same time, I get this screen. If I move that SOS button to the right, I will be calling 911 and they will call back if you hang up. I did this in one of my classes and they called back and I had to convince them I was okay, that I was not under duress. In other words, they check to see if you're being held at gunpoint, for example, and you're forced to say something. They're actually checking your calmness, I guess you would say. Okay.
Bill,
Yes.
how do you do it on the older model phones?
You should be able to press the power button alone and hold it. The ones with the home button.
Yeah,
And it should come up with the shutdown screen.
yeah. Comes up with a shutdown screen, but not with the emergency SOS and the medical ID.
Okay, you haven't set up the emergency. Do you have you set up the emergency SOS?
Yes, I did it when it first came out.
So you have the medical information in your phone?
Yes, but it's not showing up.
You have to use both buttons for it to show up. If you just use the one, you only get the power down.
Is that the way it works on the home button phone?
Yes,
Okay.
on the SE at least.
And it's probably the same on all of them then. I haven't, it used to be just the power button. But
So Diane, try that. Hold the two buttons down at the same time.
The power and the
And the volume up, power and volume up.
it's not working.
no, get back to your home screen and try it.
Yeah, I'm on my home screen.
And you're pressing the power button and the volume
The
up at
volume up.
the same time
Yeah,
and hold them
yeah,
and nothing happens.
no.
It works on mine.
That's the problem with these updates. You
Works
know,
on mine too.
it screws everything up.
What model do you have? Who was that?
I have a 7.
Anyone else have a 7 out there? And it does work or doesn't work? Okay.
I'm the only one with an antique.
Well, some of them don't want to talk. The only thing I'm thinking of is go to settings
Yeah,
And you see where it says, does it say emergency SOS in your settings?
Yeah,
Tap that.
yeah, I did. Rapidly click the sleep wake button 5 times to call emergency services. Yeah, that I know.
So you try that. Does that work? Uh-oh. Be sure
Yeah,
to
I'm
turn.
afraid to do it.
Well, be sure if you can do it, but you have a second to cancel it. So go ahead.
So how do I cancel it?
You'll see.
I shut it off. Rapidly click the sleep wake button 5 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Too hard. Yeah, it's just shutting it off.
You're holding it too long. I think it works on the old phones, new phones too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I just did it on my phone, and 5 clicks works there as well.
I think it's the case.
Okay, could be.
Yeah.
There's the emergency setting in settings on the iPad.
You go to, on the iPad, there is none.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. Okay.
No.
But it's all set up here. At least, even if I can't use it, it's set up.
You know, I whenever anybody gets a case, I warn them about them. Some of us out there have cases that the buttons are very hard to push. So when I get a case, I want to try it first to see if I'm going to be able to push it a year from now when arthritis comes in. Okay.
Well, I wish I had this case when I was in rehab, because I had a nice slim case with sensitive buttons, and the aide dropped my phone on the tile floor.
And
I
the
was
phone,
very sorry I didn't have a strong case.
well, you gotta have a strong case, but can't get to emergencies.
Yeah, right.
So we got the home button, we got the power up button, power down button. Oh, by the way, if you press and hold the home button, you should be able to get Siri. On the iPhones and iPads that don't have a home button, you press the power button and hold it until the Siri comes up, which is what I just did on my device there. Hi, Siri, how are you?
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Have you tried the new voices, Bill?
Say again, please.
Have you tried the new voices?
No, what have you tried?
I haven't tried any yet, but I thought of you because I know you love them.
I think I picked the Irish one this time. Okay. If you also look at your iPads, most of them have, if you look at the, well, let me bring the iPad up on the screen here. If you look at the, you know where the front camera is on your iPad? Okay, front camera is up here at the top. My home button's at the bottom here. And if you look at the edge, you'll see a little bitty slit. And I'm saying it's smaller than a paperclip point. That's the microphone for your iPad. So don't cover that up. On the iPhones, the microphone is at the bottom to the left side of the bottom. And the speaker is on the right side at the bottom.
Bill,
Yes.
I don't see it on the iPad.
Which iPad do you have, Ann?
Are you kidding?
Remember, we can go to settings, go to settings, general, and about, and it'll tell you which one you have.
On the iPad 5, generation 5, the microphone is right on top of the camera.
I have 7th generation.
Hmm.
And I believe it's on the edge on the same side as the camera.
Yes, there should be a microphone at the top edge. Lake, where'd you say yours was? Oh, it's buried in with the,
On top of the camera, on the top edge.
yes. And that's the
Generation 5,
Generation 5.
iPad,
Okay. So it's in that block of stuff at the top.
right.
Okay. I think there's one at the bottom as well, but that I could be wrong. It could be just there.
The bottom is the speakers.
Yeah, there's two of them down there.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. By the way, if you're playing something on your iPad, you can actually put your finger over the holes at the bottom and determine if you'll feel the vibration of the sound coming out. So that's the way I figured out my iPhone has a microphone on one side and the speakers on the other. All right. And then you have one more slot in there, and they've changed that slot this is the 3rd generation of that. They used to have the real wide thing that you plugged in to power it up and things like that. And then you had the lightning connector, and now they've gone to the Thunderbolt or USB-C connector, mini connector. And I want to show you something. One of the things you can do with those connectors is you can plug in a USB drive, a thumb drive, and copy things onto it. Now, what I have to do is get the right thing up here. And show you. And so if you, there's the speaker view for me. So you can see me okay, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm holding up this little apparatus here. On one hand is a lightning connector that I can plug into my iPad or iPhone. On the other end is a USB connector I can plug into my computer. So now I can plug this into my iPhone or iPad and transfer pictures onto it. And now I can have all my pictures. This one happens to be a 32 gigabyte thumb drive. And now I have them on here. And so if I delete them on my device, they get deleted. They can be deleted. And they're deleted everywhere in the iCloud and my iPad, but I have them. What I usually do is I put them on my computer as well. So I've got all my pictures here, and then I also plug it into my computer and transfer them there.
Bill, how many pictures do you have so that, will 32 gigabytes take care of all of them?
Usually 32,000 pictures. At least 16,000 pictures, let's put it that way. So
I try to use one of those and find that I have to take my case off and able to get the jump drive to seat.
To reach, yes. If you have a
Yes.
thick case, this end is not designed. It's designed to fit right up snug to the case and of the phone. And if you put an external case on it, you purchased one, it's not enough. So yes, I found the same problem, Sharon. I think I did get an extender You can get a dongle that's a little extender that you can do it. But it's just as easy to take the case off, in my case. That was good.
What's that called?
It's called
Yes.
a USB/Lightning flash drive. And you can Google it on, go to Amazon and just type that in. USB, or space Lightning flash drive. And they'll have a bunch of them.
Thank you.
And when you get them, you download, it says download a piece of software. And when you plug it in, that piece of software comes up and says, what would you like to do with your pictures? Pick the ones you want. You want to select them all, and you want me to delete them all from your device, like your iPad when you're done. You could also transfer pictures from it to the iPad. So if I had pictures on my computer I wanted to put on my iPad, got them here. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bill, question.
Go.
What happens if you don't have the software?
I think you can get it from the App Store.
Okay, good
Peter,
idea. Thanks.
I think, yeah.
I've had one of those for a while. In the meantime, I've changed
Devices.
devices, and I don't remember how I got the software.
I know what you mean. Go to the App Store. I think that they're there if you can remember the name of it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. How much memory do you have on your device? Well, I'm looking at my general. So I went to settings and well, I've got to switch screens. Hold on. I'm looking at my general settings here, and I click on general, and you see where it says iPad storage. Does the same thing on the iPhone when you go to settings and then general and then about, I'm sorry, not about, iPhone storage. And it tells you how much storage you have, 63 gigabytes of 128, right? So I'm about half full. And this is a nice screen because it tells you how much space various things are taking as well. I have an awful lot of applications. I have about 350 applications now on my device. So it's taking a lot of the space. My photos is next, right? Photos and music are taking a lot of space as well. Okay. And kind of to get to, talk about that when we get to photos. Notice how my music, 13 gigabytes of music. I have a lot of music on this device. I have roughly 2.3 thousand pictures, and it's taking about 1 gigabyte. Now I have those optimized, and when we talk about photos at some time in the future, I can show you how to do that. On my iPad, if I open that one, right? It says I have 64 and 52 is used. And again, my applications are taking the majority of the space. Music is second and photos is third. Okay.
Question. It's suggesting that you offload your unused apps, and then you'll free up almost 24 gigabytes.
Correct.
do the icons still stay on your device and you can just download a particular app again when you want to use it, or what?
No, they're gone from your device. You have to go to the App Store and look at the apps you've purchased to see them and download them.
And
Again.
how do you find your purchase ones in the App Store?
Ah, good question. Let me do that. So I'm going back to the home screen. The question is, if I'm looking over there at the iPhone, it says offload unused apps. And it says, hey, Bill, you haven't used a lot of your apps, 12.35 gigabytes worth, in probably 2 or 3 months. If I enable that, it will automatically remove those apps, but keep a record of them that I purchased them in the iCloud. Okay. So what I do is I go to the App Store, and I'm going to do it on my iPad here. And here's the App Store. It says today, games, apps, arcades, search. But if I click my little icon up here, and you can do this with me, it says purchased. And I'm going to go to my purchases, not my wife's, because we're sharing, so we can, okay? And I say not on this iPad. So here's all the apps that I have removed sometime in the past. Ooh, purchased. And I have a lot. And if you wonder why I have so many apps that I don't use, I download a bunch of apps depending on the classes I'm having and what people have suggested in the class, and I try them out. And I don't bother to delete them until I'm about out of space. Okay, but here's the apps, right? So Diane, here's the ones that I have removed, downloaded at some time in the past, and then removed them. And then I can just go here and say, gee, I want Airbnb back again. I would tap the little cloud and it would again be loaded onto my device.
I have a question.
Mhm.
You may not you may not want to, click enable to offload all your unused apps.
Right.
Or if you just want to go through the apps and just, delete the ones, you don't think you're going to use in a while, you'll still be able to find them in the purchased thing.
Yes.
Okay, so that they're not gone for good.
Yeah, I have never used that particular feature to offload unused apps. I haven't used it yet.
So you've just deleted apps and you
Yeah,
found
these are all apps that I have loaded on my device sometime in the past.
deleted.
And I've deleted them.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get them back. And it looks like Polymer Free is no longer available, for example. See how the cloud is grayed out there?
Well, first of all, for me, I've got, I don't have all the same apps on my phone or my iPad because, I use them differently and I can save space.
Right.
So, but there's one purchased account. So, it's going to show up no matter which device you're using.
Correct.
Or you purchase apps. But the one thing I find that's really a problem, now that I'm looking at this, I see a lot of these apps have to be updated. And I haven't been alerted because some of these apps I'm using on my devices, I'm just using them on one device, not the other. And they don't always alert me when they have to be updated. That's a problem.
Oh,
I
no,
mean, you have to go into your purchased apps or look on to find out if you should be updating.
there is a setting somewhere that will update the apps automatically too. And I'm just trying to figure out where that is.
App updates. You
There it
have that.
is. I went to the settings and app store and I want to do app
Okay,
updates
that's good
automatically.
stuff.
Okay. So if you turn that on, you should get automatic updates.
Okay, so I go to set. So I go to App Store. And go to settings.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. 2 days. The first day was at rest, and the second day was stress.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The reason why I didn't have it on is because then it automatically goes on all my devices, and this way I can save storage space. So it's a problem. Yeah. So I'm stuck either way.
Well, it's
Thanks.
automatically update things that have been put on your device.
Yes, but you see, it says automatically download new purchases, including free made on other devices.
I
So,
see what you're saying. You don't want to get some of the apps on your other device.
yeah, because
Understood.
I'm not going to use it on the other device. Why waste the storage space?
I understand. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, right. So I just will check periodically.
Okay. The other thing you can do when you buy a phone is you can select a color, and they just came out with a new purple color. So if you're interested in a new phone and like purple, beautiful phone. My daughter-in-law likes purple, so she may end up with a new phone pretty soon.
I guess it's as good as any reason to buy a phone.
I think we already saw that you can have 1, 2, or 3 cameras on these devices. That's the back camera and 1 front camera. And of course, on your iPhone, there is a speaker near your ear when you hold it to your ear. So it's up there at the top. Now, if you turn on your device, you have little things on there called icons, apps. In the old world, we used to call them programs. Right? So I have a lot of different programs there. And sometimes the ones that are on your various screens, you would like not to be there, or they would like them to be in a different order so you can find them easier, etc. The way in which you do that is you get them to be nervous, and you put your finger, and I'm going to move the little bubble to any blank area, and you press and hold it, and you'll notice they start vibrating. And I'll do it on my phone as well. Okay. Now here's where on your iPad, you can click the X. Let me put it on one. If I click on the X, it comes up and says delete. And I can delete that particular application. And then I will click cancel because I don't want to delete that. Now you'll notice something different on the iPad. On the iPhone. The iPhones, when they shake, they have a minus sign there, which is not an X. The minus sign, and if you tap on the minus sign, oh, there it is. If I put my little button, the little button here, and if I put that on the minus sign, it comes up and says delete app, just like it was on the iPad, but it says remove from home screen. You mean to tell me, Bill, you can remove an app from your home screen and you still have it on your device? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. And that's because of a new feature on your iPhones. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to stop them from shaking. And I'd like all of you to look at the bottom of your screens on your iPhones. Those of you who have iPhones, look down there. And how many little dots do you have there? I have 3. And by the way, the iPads have those dots as well. They just don't have the last thing I'm going to show. So everybody, including the iPad users, can just go like this, and you'll see that dot change at the bottom. Okay. So now I'm on the middle dot on my iPhone. I'm on the 3rd dot on my iPad. I'm on the 3rd dot on my iPhone, and I'm on the last dot. What they have done with the iPhones now is you can go one more screen. So if I go from right to left on my phone right now, whoop, it says App Library. Apple added this in the iOS 14. The App Library is a listing of all your apps grouped by what Apple thinks should be a good grouping. For example, I have a bunch of apps on my let's say my iPhone here called Social. And if I tap, if I have only 4 there, it would be 4. But if I have more than 4, it would include this little block here. And if I tap that little block, it will give me a listing of all the apps that they believe are called social or social media. Okay. They also have a feature there at the top. You're trying to find an app. If you click where it says App Library, it lists all your applications in alphabetical order. Did you see that one? You went by here? Interesting. Okay. I'm going to cancel that. And you'll notice I go down here to one that has a lot in the category, utilities. They put a lot in the utilities. I click the little, if I click on the clock there, it'll bring up that application or the settings application or the Find My application. But if I click the little 4 app little box there, it lists all of them I have that they call utilities.
Wow.
They must think I am an awful, I'm a utilitarian person here. Okay. All right. Now, what I haven't done is I haven't gone to see if they've put an app in more than one category. Okay. I don't know that they do or do not do that.
Not asking.
Pardon me?
I'm sorry. How did you get to app utilities?
App library, you mean?
Yes, well, I'm in App Library, but I don't see the same screen that you're looking
Well,
at.
you may not have one called utility.
Okay.
What
I
they
do.
have done is
I do.
what they did was they organized them in categories that they think would be appropriate for what they're seeing on my listing. And I'm sure you have settings somewhere, and settings should be a utility. It
Yeah,
could be under productivity or something. I don't know.
I got it. The question I wanted to ask you, Bill, was if someone has you in a group messaging, how can you take yourself out of that group?
You can't.
Oh, you can't. They have to do it.
Correct.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're getting a lot of messages from a group you don't want to get messages from anymore.
Right.
You can block the group.
You can just block it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bill,
Yes.
the little, on the iPad, the little gray box with the white circle inside it. And what's it called? I know what it does, but I don't know what it's called.
The little gray box with the white circle inside it.
Yes, it's at the end of your dock at the bottom on your screen.
On
You
my
can move it
iPads?
around.
This one?
No, go further. Go further to the right, my right.
It's your
No, my
serial
right.
home button.
What's it called, Bill?
This one? Oh,
No.
that
Above
one.
that.
Yes,
This one.
gray square with white circle.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Just a minute. That one.
I know that one, yes. So I know what it does, but what do you call it?
Oh, let me go to settings and
When you refer to it, I don't know.
I know what you mean. Assistive touch
Assistive touch, okay.
allows you to use your iPad if you have difficulty touching. I turn that off. Now my mouse won't work any longer. Because that's one of the things it does. But if you turn, see, it's on now, and if I hit it, turns it off.
Uh-huh,
Okay,
great, thank you. Mhm.
good.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
is the app library negotiable where you could change a position of where they have it or a name of something?
Nope. That's what
That's
the home
unusual.
screens are for. I think is what they say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Does the search in the home library work the same as Spotlight search?
I don't think it works. I think it just searches the library. I don't think it searches anything else. Let's try it once. I'll do that and I'll say, ALL, yeah, EG. Yeah, it just searches the library for that particular application. So it does, Spotlight Search does more than just search your app library. This one just searches the library. Okay, Bill?
Yep, thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so that was a bit of a new feature. I'm glad you asked the question about the home screens here in this little guy. The little dot that's running around the screen is actually my mouse. I have a Bluetooth mouse, and you can pair it with your iPhone. And I'm switching it over to my iPad. Now I have a little smaller dot running around the screen there. Right? And when I click, it's like touching the screen. When I click and hold, it's like touching and holding the screen. Okay,
Question, Bill.
go ahead.
What are air tags?
Air, oh, Apple just announced something called Air Tags. Is that what you're talking about, Peter?
Yes.
Apple has come out with a little device, probably maybe 1.5 inches in diameter, maybe 2 inches in diameter. And it's designed to be put on your keychain, on your luggage, on something you don't want to lose. And what you can do, and I have something similar to it on my keys. And what you can do is it it allows you to find out where they are on your device using the Find My application. So it'll find where that tag is. And it is crowdsourced. So if somebody goes by the device with an iPhone, the iPhone will detect it and send that information to your iCloud so that your iCloud knows where the tag is. Okay. I use it for around the house to be able to find my keys or, my stuff.
Can you use it on your dog, Bill?
Say, put it on your dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Okay.
Basically, it's a Bluetooth device that follows you around.
That allows you to know where it is. Yes.
And where do you get it?
It just came out. I think you can order it on the Apple Store starting this month sometime, and it'll be available next month, probably, something like that. There are other ones out there already from other companies. And that's what I happen to have on my keychain. It really came in handy. I dropped the keys I dropped the keys beside the seat in my car and I could not find them. And there's a way to have them make a noise. So I kept pushing my controller to say, make a noise, make a noise. And I finally heard it in the garage, found it in the car. No, yeah, found them in the garbage can one time too. Okay, so it does come in handy. When you're looking at the apps and they're shaking, and I'll get them to shake, like so, you can move them around. I just put my finger on it, put it down, and then I can move it over here. I can take the ones off the dock or the taskbar, and I can put another one on there. Okay. Now, the first question I have for everybody is, how many apps can you put on the dock of your iPad?
13.
Oh.
We did this in a class before.
I know. I was just seeing how your memories were. Okay.
I have 15.
That's because you have 2 more out here at the end. Is that right? There's a little line right here.
3 more.
You can have 3 more there. There's a little line right here in some of your devices. And let me put that line on my device to show you what it is. If I can remember where to get it here. You see the little line down here? Right here? Some of you have that. And the items to the right of that keep changing. The items to the left are the applications you have put on the bar and they stay there. The ones on the right are recently used or Apple selected. Okay. Applications. So if I go to my camera and then I put my camera away, see how the camera now appears down there? And if I go to my news and then put that away, the news is now down there. Now what happens if I go one more? Put maps down there, open maps, and then close it. And now it put maps on there and took, what was the one I had on there first? It only does the last 3. Okay. So some people like that feature, some people don't. So they gave us all the capability of having it there or not. I put the things here that I most often use, and the things on my first home page, the second most used stuff. Okay. So I would prefer, if I go into settings and I click on in settings, home screen and dock, and I turn that feature off, show suggested and recent apps in dock. Okay. Okay. Now I don't have those items there any longer. Okay.
Hey, Bill, I have a question.
Go ahead.
If you get a chance today, could you go over the setting up of the Find My app? Because that's kind of important. It should be already up and running before you need it.
Not bad. Yes. Was it you that sent me the question on that one?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. See the Find My app here? Okay. Introducing air tags, right? Attach the tag to your favorite item to help locate them on the map. Use your precise locations, right? So I just tap continue. And you'll see I have a list of devices there.
Where are you?
I went to the Find My app. Okay, and you're saying, oh, I don't know where that is, Bill. If you can't find it, I happen to have it on my dock down here. It's an app that looks like this. Again, if you can't find it, put your finger here in the middle and pull down and type in FIND. Oops. All right. So for those of you who are relatively new, you may not know that little trick. If you put your finger in the middle of the screen, not on an app, and you just flick it downward, flick, like so, you'll get this little feature up here that shows up called Spotlight Search. And if you're looking for an application, I just type in I type in the name, I think it is, and it will list them. I can find my car, I can find my. Okay. So is there some settings you have to go? It's been so long, I'm not sure.
It's not very accurate, Bill. I mean, I've got all three of my devices right together, and it's showing my mobile devices across the cul-de-sac.
Understood.
Bill?
Yes, I'm looking
says-
for, go ahead.
It says you have to put your Apple ID and your password to sign in. Okay. And it says you have to turn on location services.
I'm getting there. On each device. Is there a place where you can set up the settings on Find My? I thought there was, but perhaps not. Greg or Bill, any luck there? Any suggestions? As they madly scramble.
Do I want location services on?
Yeah, you have to have location services on. So I went to.
Find My was under the Apple ID.
Oh, it is? Okay, thank you. Let's first of all, you want to make sure your devices are reporting to the cloud where they are.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
so that if you lose the device, it reports to the cloud and you can go to the cloud and find out where it is. Say again, please.
Well,
So I'm going to go to location services and make sure it's turned on. Okay. For all my devices. So there it is on this device, right? And I just want to make sure it's turned on all the devices.
yeah.
All right. Secondly, if I tap my name up here at the top of settings, and I'll do it on both the iPhone and the iPad. Okay. And it says Find My there. Okay. Find My is on both my iPhone and the iPad. And I have those three features turned on: Find My Network, and Find My Last Location. Automatically send the location of this phone to Apple when the battery is critically low. So if you lost it in a field, the last thing it will do before the battery dies, it will send that information to the cloud if it can.
Question, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
You have to turn on, if you turn on share my location, you need that to find your devices. I didn't think,
No, you don't need it. You would have to do that if you wanted to use share stuff.
yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Now the kids would use that so they could find out if Joanne's at the mall today.
Right, yeah, I know. I don't want them tracking me.
How do you do that for AirPods, Bill?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen one yet, so I'm not sure how they do it.
It actually shows as in my find list.
Oh,
but it
AirPods,
doesn't
yes.
connect. Yeah.
I'm sorry, AirPods. I thought you were talking about those tag things. Okay. Yeah, mine shows it in my list as well, right?
But it says in mine, no location available.
Ooh, so you haven't logged them in recently.
How do you do that?
You make sure they have enough power on them. Oh, where's my AirPods? Right there's my AirPods, and it says they're right here. Okay. And they're laying here on my desk. And I think it's the last time you use them attached to your phone or your iPad. Okay. So it'd be the last time you used them. I don't think they can send their information to the iCloud by themselves.
That's where the AirTags are different. They have a battery in there
Yeah.
that lasts about a year. And through the, like you said, through the network of other phones around you, they can communicate.
If you think about that, that's pretty spectacular, isn't it? So if your suitcase is in Germany going around the conveyor belt and somebody's standing there with an iPhone, you'll be able to tell that it's on a conveyor belt somewhere in Germany.
And the location, as you get closer to it, it's a very precise location. It's not a approximate location. It's very precise. It comes up with an arrow telling you which way to go to get closer to it.
Okay. Greg, thank you.
Bill,
Yes.
how did you get there?
How did you
Get to location services? When I put in find my car,
Oh, that's different. That's different.
well, how did you get to location services?
I'm in settings,
Yeah, I am too.
and then I go to privacy.
Privacy.
Mhm.
And then there's-
Okay,
then
I
it says,
got it.
and then it says,
Okay,
this location services needs to be turned on.
okay. Okay,
Was it off?
it was off.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, you want to really turn that on.
okay.
'Cause that's the only way your device knows where it is. And then when you're using maps, let's see.
Using maps.
When you use the Maps app, you want to make
Okay.
sure, if you scroll down there, you see where it says Maps?
Yes,
What's it say beside it?
beside. Okay.
Using.
Never ask next time while using the app or widgets, and
Yeah,
then
tap that and say while using app or widget,
precise location.
and then precise location. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So
Bill,
now,
this is,
go ahead.
okay, this is Joanne and I'm stuck back in find my location. And at the bottom, it says the three choices: allow once, allow while using app, and don't allow. And it won't let me get out of there. So I got to pick one of those. Is there one I should pick over the other?
And where are you?
In the how to find my location back in the beginning when we
Oh,
found the, yeah,
I'm
and I
back
can't get out of
I'm
here.
back here. Okay. And I'm Find My, and I've turned it on. Where did?
It's not in settings at all. I actually am in the little app
Yeah, the app itself.
in the beginning when we did that. Yeah, that little green. Yes,
one.
right there.
And what's it say?
It just gives me three choices. It shows me where I am, precise, and precise says off. So maybe I need that changed, but it's at the bottom. It says allow once, allow while using app, or don't allow.
Allow while using app.
Okay, now, thank you. I wasn't sure which one okay, thank you.
Okay.
What is the difference between allow while using apps and allow while using apps and widgets?
Nothing.
That's an interesting, if you put the, is this on Find My? If you put the Find My app in a widget, you want it to be able to know your location in the widget versus using the app. The widget is a subset of the app.
Well, I'm in the maps, and one of the choices was while using the app or while using the app or widgets.
Yes. Now, if you have the Maps app open, that's one. If you have a widget that is from the Maps, do you want it to be able to find your location with that widget as well? And the widget is just a subset of what the Maps can do.
Okay, thank you.
So wouldn't it be helpful if it gave an address rather than Sarasota, Florida for your location? If you
Well,
want to,
you see what I'm looking at here?
looking at a map, yeah, I see.
That's where my stuff is. And you'll see my iPads are out in the street.
Yeah, right. Well, my computer is in the lake.
Mine's in the building, right? In the perfect spot.
But it's got the right building just about. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
I am just for that.
Okay.
I thought you said it would show precise location.
Well, I'm not sure I have precise turned on for these guys. What they have added in the settings, if everybody goes to settings and privacy, and then from privacy, we have this thing called location services. And I think it requires some explanation here. In order for your device to know where it is, you have to turn on location services. So it gathers that information either from Wi-Fi connections around you, like in the case of the iPad, or the GPS satellites in the case of the iPhone. All right. So you have to make sure the device itself knows where it is. Secondly is if you tap location services, it comes out and says each app can be given. I better preface this. Apple does a very good job of allowing you to control your privacy. Who gets information that's on your device or things you are doing with your device? The first feature is, are you giving Facebook authority to look at your location? And Facebook would like to know it. And I say never. See it right there? Facebook, never. If I go down here to finding the location for my, and giving that location to Maps, it says while using, and I turned on precise location for my iPad. And the precise location supposedly makes it a much closer. Instead of 400 feet or a football field, it gets it down to 30 feet or 20 feet. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but that's the idea behind it. What I want to do is say where my iPhone is in that list. So again, I go back to settings. I'm going to go down to privacy. I tap on location services and I go down to maps. So am I going to let the maps application know where my phone is? So I go down to maps. And I want it for widgets and apps and its precise location. Now you would think then if I go to Find My, it would give me the same location for both, wouldn't it? But it doesn't quite do that, and I understand. Okay.
Well, I tell you, this precise location to them is so far away, approximate could be in the next county.
Well, look at that. Look at that. My phone was in a different house than I am.
Well, I mean,
No, I just moved further away.
it shows my computer almost on a different, really on a different street.
If you had two iPhones, I bet they'd be very close together.
Bill?
Let me finish and I'll get to you.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill,
the AirPods and the iPad are creating the location based on Wi-Fi around them. So it's not going to be as accurate. Go ahead. Who had the question?
I did, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
How did you get to where you are now, Find My Car, or Find My House, or whatever, from while using the app or widgets?
Okay, so now I've turned that on. I turned it on my
It's on.
iPhone, the left-hand screen.
Okay.
And then I'm going back to the home screen and I need to use the application called Find My.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Good question, though. I am jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Bill, you know, I'm not moving my iPhone, but my iPhone the location keeps jumping around, even though I'm not moving.
I know.
I mean, so how accurate can it be?
Well, we're not NASA and we're not the military, so.
I'm not sure I could find it with this.
I guess if military sends a big enough bomb, it'll get both places. But get the idea, everybody, though?
Right.
Bill,
Yes.
I do not have maps on location services. How do I get it on? And there are some on there which I don't really want. How do I get them off?
Oh. So now we're back in settings. I'm going back to settings, everyone. And the question is, I want to have more control over who sees where I am. And I go down through my list of applications, right? And there's ABC7 weather. If I tap the arrow, I can say, don't ever tell them, or ask each time, do you want to give it them a permission, etc. Big Bang, I say never. So that's the way you do it. You go down to the various ones.
But how do I get them on?
Oh, you have to download the application from the App Store. These are all applications that I have on my device.
Yes, and I've got the app for to find my place, but it's not on the privacy thing. And
App
then
Store
home
doesn't ask to know where you are, the App Store itself.
So the app is on the, so what do I do to get it on then?
Okay.
Do I,
What app are we talking about?
the map.
You don't have maps as one
I
of the,
have maps on it, but it doesn't appear on under privacy.
no.
But there's,
hold on.
yeah,
Here's privacy.
yes,
And you see where it says location services at the top?
yes,
Tap that.
it is on.
Tap it.
Okay.
Okay, now you'll get a list of all the applications that would like to access what you just turned on. You just turned on, or you had on. I know where it is. I have the coordinates of where I am. Do I want to allow the Apple Store to know it? And you see where it
Yes.
says Apple Store there? I said never. I don't see a reason for the Apple Store to know where I am. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I would hit that and change it to never. All right.
Maps here. Yes, while using. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Okay.
Bill, what do you have checked for the Find My location?
Well, Find My will probably not be part of it. Oh, what do I have checked? While using.
While using,
Hey, Bill, could you go over just how to add a device? Like if I wanted to put my iPad onto my Find My.
Is your iPad the same Apple ID as your iPhone?
Let me check. Doing it now.
The way in which you can tell that, everybody know what their Apple ID is. If you're not sure, again, you go to settings and you tap where your name is at the top of the settings menu. So I'm going to go to settings on both devices and tap my name on both devices. And right here and here, there and there should be the same.
Oh, Bill, on what I have is my wife's name is on the iPad.
There you go. So they're two different accounts. They're not using the same cloud.
But your spouse can allow you to track them, but normally they are defined by their phone instead of their iPad.
Correct.
Because you always have your phone with you versus your iPad may be other places.
Greg, do you know how to set that up?
I don't quite remember. Let me take a look. I'll come back.
Thank you, because I've done it too. There it says family sharing with my wife. Right? Right, and I'm sharing apps, but there's a way to share Find My in there as well. And Greg's gonna look that up. I did it with my wife some time ago, and I don't recall how to do it exactly. Okay,
Yeah, if you go back into your Apple ID on settings, I
Okay.
think that's where you set it up.
could you check that to make sure, and then come back and tell us?
Yeah, I'm
how-
in there now, and that's looks like what you do.
So I'm in your name at the top, then what? I tap family
And
sharing.
then go down to Find My.
Go down to Find My, there it is, yes. And there's Patty Crow. What you could do is, I think you could add one there, can't you?
Yes, and I have our son and daughter, we have on there as friends too. And that comes in handy, like if we're going to meet at Universal, we can see where people are at on their way and that sort of thing. And then they can,
Greg, how did you add one?
oh, shoot. Yeah, if they're in your family, you can just turn them on, I believe, but okay, I'll look at that and see how to add another a friend and not just a family member. Okay.
Well, a family member or friend. Anyway, let me keep going here. We were back here. Have a question somewhere? We were back here on your apps on the screen. And we got them shaking. And then we could move them around. Like so. And we could go from screen to screen and see the different ones. Now you'll notice on this screen, that I have what we'll call folders, little boxes that look like they have other apps in them, and they actually do. For example, for books, I have taken all the apps I have that have to do with books, and I put them in this particular, let's call it a folder. So your first question to me, well, how can I do that, Bill? I have a whole bunch of screens and all these different apps. How can I combine them? So I'm just going to show you how to do that, and you can try it as well. And it's okay to try it, because what I'll do is I'll show you how to take them out of the folder when we get done putting them in. I'm going to take this video memos and files and put them together. So I'm pointing at video memos, and here's files. And I'm just going to drag that, and I'm going to put it on top of files and let go. And now I have 2 items there. And Apple went to all the trouble to look at those and say, gee, I'm going to put a name on them. And it put a name called business on them. Now you say, well, gee, I don't like the name business. So I'm going to click the X right here at the end. And I'm going to type my own name, Stuff, Stuff. Okay, so I type that on the keyboard, and now I have a folder called Stuff. And if I click or touch the screen outside of this folder, now I have that little box. And it's called Stuff. So everybody try that. Everybody try to put 2 things together in one folder. And occasionally you may try to do it and it runs around on you. I'll try to put this knots in magnifier and see how it tries to get away from me. You have to be careful and put it gradually just right on top of it.
Especially if you try to put it on the next page.
But we'll get there in a minute.
It runs all around.
Let's not go there yet. Okay. And now if you put two together and you open that folder and I want to remove them. So again, I get them wiggling and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it outside the folder and then let go. I'll do the same with the other. Click, drag outside the folder and let go. And in this case, I still have one remaining in there. If I remove the last one, the folder disappears and I no longer have an empty folder. Okay. Now, some people were saying, well, gee, I have this other page that I want to put this stuff on. Let's assume I want to move this Google to the other page. I can click and drag and move it around. And if I move it over to this edge very slowly, and I get to the edge, you see how it went to another box, another home screen? If I go the other way and I just hold it near the edge, and all of a sudden it starts jumping to the various pages. And when I get to the page I want it on, keep going, I let go. And it shows up on that page. Now you can not only do this with applications, you can do it with folders. So I have the folder shaking and I can move that to this page. Now I don't know why I have egg in here, but I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to move iOS to this screen. I'm going to move Flight Tracker 24 to that screen. Oh, I'm going to move it to this screen. Okay. This is a great exercise to do when you're in the doctor's office, waiting for your appointment. Okay. All right. Any questions? I think I'm going to move tips. Oops. Going to move. I got to get them to shake. And I have to move.
I know how to do it now, Bill.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Let me preface it. If you want to be able to share your location with another family or person, right? And this is a good idea to do, as Greg was saying. For example, you let your kids know where you are. So if they can't find you or get in contact with you, they can see where you are and know if you're in trouble or not, assuming you have your phone with you. So go ahead, Greg. Thank you.
Okay, you want to do this on your phone. So if you open up the Find My app on your phone.
Let me do it. There's the Find My app. So I have opened it. Okay.
Okay, and first go to Me down on the lower setting there.
See it at the bottom, everybody? It's
At the bottom, yeah.
Yep. Let me.
And you tap on Me,
Okay, I've tapped on me.
And then you want to be sure that you have share my location turned on.
Okay,
Now scroll that up higher and see if you have anything below that. Grab the little bar, yeah. Okay, now where it says under notifications, allow friends requests. Up a little higher, yeah. Turn that on. Okay, and I have more stuff on the bottom. Yeah, you want to set that, use this iPhone as my location. You don't want your location to be your Mac or your iPad. You want it to be the phone because that's going to be with you the most. And these I have some custom labels, but we can skip that. But then if you go to people.
I think I messed it up here, Greg. It says edit location name.
Yeah.
This is home.
I'm not sure about the details of that. I have put my son's home location on there as one of them, but
Okay.
I don't think we're ready to talk about that.
Okay.
Drop down on the lower line and go to people. And then start sharing location. That's where you start it up. And then you send this to a person you want to share your location with. For instance, your son. I think you're already sharing with Patty, right?
I think so.
Or you could do Patty again, but
Young. Okay.
Okay.
Here's Young Nam. That's my daughter-in-law.
And then when it's going to send, I can't remember whether it sends a message or an email, or it sends them some kind of a notification saying you set the time that you want to share with them.
Okay.
Your location.
And then I say share indefinitely.
Yes.
Okay.
But she's going to probably be shocked.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this time, she can share your location, and I think you can request to see her. Maybe she has to acknowledge this first before it works. What I can do, I can send you a request to share.
Okay.
And you can see, then you'll see on your what it looks like. Should I send that to your iPhone?
Sure.
Probably. Okay. Let's see. Is in 5.8 or 6258? Yeah.
941-441-5158. 5158.
Okay. 06.
941.
It says this number is not, I'm sorry. Let me, I've got three different phone numbers for you here.
Yeah, and it ends in 5158.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong phone number.
It's okay. So the general idea is, as he's doing that, is you have to request it from somebody else. You have to tell somebody else you would like to share your location. So you have to be giving permission first. And then
Now, supposedly I sent you a request
as an email,
for 1 hour.
As an email, or
I don't know. It says Bill can see your location. So go back into people and now.
Okay, I will.
You don't see me though.
Yeah, I don't see you there because I haven't accepted or devices, items. I think
not working good, is it?
No, it's not the way we thought. If I wanted to now say, hey, I don't want to yet let Young Nam see my location, how can I turn that off?
Okay, that's a good question.
Stop sharing. So I have given Young Nam to see my location. I've given her permission in the Find My app. Okay. So it says, young Nam can see your location, right? And I tap that and it says, stop sharing my location. Okay. Okay, everyone?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, this is funny. Mine still shows that you can see me, but I guess you can't
Not yet.
because I don't show up on people on yours.
Not yet. Maybe I have to stop the app and start it again. That could be. And
Be nice if you got a text,
nope.
so you could, you
It
know.
said I should have gotten a text or an email, right? One of the two.
Yeah, mine doesn't show that I sent you anything.
Nope. Didn't get a text.
All right, we need more work on that.
Yeah, it should be a little easier. I'm sure the kids have all figured it out.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right, we've covered moving around and messing around with the apps and how to get an app, how to delete apps, how to use the app library. I just want to cover again with you all a couple of the nice little features about the keyboard. All right, so everybody bring up the app called Notes. And hit the pencil and paper in the upper right-hand corner. Right here where the pencil and paper, just tap that. So you have a little vertical blinking line there. And have your keyboard come up. Now, if you have an external keyboard, it won't come up. You tap the keyboard in the lower right-hand side. So you actually get the keyboard to come up. All right. And let's just type that this is a message. Okay, and I hit the return key. All right, a couple of things there on your iPads. You see the numbers? Let me point them out to you. You see the numbers right here on the keys. The @ sign above the A, the pound sign above the S. You can put your finger on that key and pull down, and you'll see how that number. And when you do that, instead of typing the W, I will type a 2. On the S, I would type, oops. On the S, I would type a pound sign. On the Z, I would type a % sign.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What they did now this is not available on the iPhones, just the iPads. So you don't have to switch back and forth to the numeric keypad to type a number or some of these special symbols.
Yeah, it's very irritating.
Also, if you just put your finger on the W and the E, for example, and hold it, and then slide your finger up, you can get these different forms of the E used in different languages. Okay.
Oh, my.
Now that's in the A, E, I, O, and U. That's all the vowels. And it works in some of the other letters, but I'm trying to see if it works on any of the other ones.
How do you get the @ sign on the A? Because when I do it, I get the multiple letters.
No, that's if you press and hold it, you get the multiple letters. If you press and pull down, you get the A. So pressing and hold has one result, and press and pull down has the other result. We probably all know about the up arrow here. If you click it once, that makes a caps. If you tap it quickly twice, tap, tap, it makes it a caps lock. Also, and this is the one they've added not too long ago, where if you press and hold the space bar, the keyboard, and this works on the iPhone and the iPad, the keyboard itself turns into a touchpad. And if you look up on the screen right now, I have the space bar held down, and I'm sliding my finger on the screen, and you see the cursor moving on the screen?
Yeah.
The effect here is I can move that cursor precisely where I want to put it very quickly. And then I raise my finger, and the cursor is right there. So it's how to convert your keyboard into a touchpad. And the last one there on this is if you double tap at the end, you tap the keyboard, it puts in a period, tap, tap, and it automatically adds a period to the end of a sentence. So these are all little shortcuts that kind of make it a little more pleasant to use.
Okay.
Also, most of us have a microphone here now. And if I press that microphone, it will start. Hi, Dave, how are you today? New line. How are things in California? Question mark. New line. This is the end of my demonstration on the keyboard. Period. New line. All right. And it works pretty well. Any place the keyboard shows up, you can use that microphone. I've seen some students, they don't type anymore more. And especially on the iPhone, it makes it much easier because that keyboard is kind of small. Questions on the keyboard? Anybody else have a little tip about using the keyboard?
Those are cool tips.
Okay.
Bill,
Yes.
if you don't want the keyboard to take up that much real estate, you can actually shrink it by I use thumb and index finger at either end and just sort of scooch it.
Depends on the settings. I can't separate mine now. The thing she's saying, if you don't want the keyboard taking that much space, if you go to settings, and I'll go to it on my iPhone and iPad, and then you go to general, and general,
Keyboard down there.
and you scroll down to where it says keyboards, and it says split keyboard.
No, not split.
Let me go to it here. Keyboard. Predictive, check spelling. I'm gonna get to that one. One hand keyboard is what you're referring to. It doesn't have that on the iPad. It's split keyboard on the iPad and one hand on the iPhone. And that's left or right. Is that what you're talking about?
No, actually, I mean, I just put one finger on the left and one on the right and just sort of flip the fingers in. It makes it a tiny little keyboard.
So I did that. And now if I have the keyboard on the iPhone, whoops, notes, notes, new note. So now it's to the left, right?
On the iPad, not on the phone, it would be teeny. But I've done that.
On the iPad,
On the iPad, you just, yeah.
I
you
go to
just kind of
notes
Push it together.
and I get the keyboard.
Right.
Oh, come on. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem I have with that right now is when you don't have it in that mode, it's in the middle of the screen. And I don't know how to.
No, I didn't know. I don't split the keyboard. I don't have that on. I don't like that.
Okay.
It's the full keyboard, but it's smaller and you can move it around your screen.
Bill, I've done that just now and it works for me. You
Which
just
one?
put it together.
On the
It's nice.
iPad, I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an error in mind then. Okay.
Yeah, you just move it with your fingers.
Right.
You can
Oh,
make it
there's one
bigger.
feature on here. It's called predictive that you probably should know about. Let me reset my keyboard here.
See what my settings are.
It's called predictive. So I'm just making sure predictive is turned on. And then, for example, if I go to my iPad and I'm typing a note. Come on. And you see the top bar, I'm going to point it out to you. It says hi, I, and test up here. As I start typing TH, you see how it gives me various words?
Right.
I can tap this and it just comes up with it. And then if I this and I type an I, and then I can just click on is, A space G. Oh, there's great. That's what I wanted to type. Then I type a C, L, A, S, S. Okay, and double tap. So predictive is that line that comes up there and you can use it. And a lot of people do. Some of the students just say, what can I type here? I'm going to type, I have a great time at the office. I'm just letting it create the sentence that I want, basically.
Yeah, I just got, what are you doing?
Say again?
I just got one. What are you going to do?
Yeah, there you go.
I never touched the key. I mean, I just went up. with it.
Exactly. You just use the predictive.
They're just writing my question.
Okay, folks. Any other questions?
Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Good job, Bill.
Have a great week.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
can-
Bill.
We'll pick up
Thanks.
here, we'll pick up
Thank
here
you.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye
Okay.
now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
How we get out.
Mhm.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.